who's actually going to get the most out of a premium Woods Hell pad set for an electronic kit, and who should walk away before they spend a big chunk of cash. If you're trying to decide whether the Yamaha TCS drum pad set for the DTX10KX is a smart buy for everyday playing or just a nice-to-have for a specific workflow, you're in the right place. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you first see a set that promises real wood shells molded at the Yamaha drum factory, it's easy to imagine a studio-grade feel that will instantly elevate your practice sessions. The hesitation most of us feel is whether that extra realism actually translates into something you'll notice day to day, or if you're paying for a marketing gloss that never shows up when you're hammering out a groove in a cramped bedroom. The real question is, does the natural rebound from those TCS heads make a measurable difference for a hobbyist versus a gig-ready drummer? And will the price tag still make sense if you're only plugging in a few times a week? Let's start by putting this set into the context of the electronic drum market. The DTX10KX is already one of the most feature-rich modules out there, offering deep editing, multi-layered kits, and responsive triggers. Yamaha's TCS, tuned composite shell, pads are designed to pair with that module by delivering an acoustic-like response while still feeding digital signals. What you're really buying isn't just a collection of trigger pads, you're buying a bridge between the tactile feel of a wooden drum and the convenience of an electronic kit. For players who already own a DTX10KX, the decision point becomes whether the added realism justifies the extra hardware and installation effort. If you're a gigging drummer who needs consistent sound and quick setup, the real wood shells give you a familiar rebound that can reduce the learning curve when switching between acoustic and electronic gigs. I've seen drummers in small club settings replace their cheap rubber pads with TCS shells and notice they can execute faster rolls and more nuanced dynamics without constantly adjusting their playing technique. The natural feel also helps when you're layering acoustic samples on top of the module's tones. Those subtle stick-to-head interactions can make a big difference in the final mix. For a home studio that doubles as a rehearsal space, the added weight and sturdiness of the wood shells can actually be a benefit. The pads stay put, don't bounce around on a cheap rack, and they look the part of a professional setup, which can be a morale boost when you're recording yourself. On the flip side, the set isn't a universal upgrade for every electronic drummer. Beginners who are still learning basic timing and basic strokes may not feel the incremental benefit of a more realistic rebound. A solid rubber pad can do the job just fine while they focus on fundamentals. The wood shells add noticeable weight, so if you're renting a practice room or need to move your kit frequently, you'll have to factor in the extra effort and possibly a sturdier rack. The kit also requires a bit more careful mounting. Each pad has a dedicated mounting point, and the TCS heads are tuned to a specific tension. If you skip the proper setup, you could end up with uneven response or unwanted rattling, which defeats the purpose of buying a premium set. Finally, the price point sits well above entry-level trigger pads, so if your budget is tight and you're only using the DTX10KX for casual jamming, you might be better off allocating those dollars toward extra module expansions or higher quality headphones. Bottom line, the Yamaha TCS drum pad set shines when you're looking for that acoustic drum feel without sacrificing the versatility of a digital kit. It's a solid match for serious hobbyists, semi-professional players, and anyone who spends a decent amount of time tweaking dynamics and articulations in a home studio or small venue. If you're a beginner, a frequent traveler, or someone who only needs a basic practice solution, the extra wood and tuned heads may feel like an unnecessary expense. As always, weigh the tangible benefits: more natural rebound, sturdier construction, and a professional aesthetic against the practical trade-offs of weight, setup complexity, and cost. If you've been on the fence and think the TCS set could finally give you the feel you've been missing, give it a look and see if it lines up with your playing goals. The link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon.